You're listening to another episode of the Just Go Bike podcast powered by RAGBRAI. This is the award-winning podcast where we are all about the culture of cycling just for the fun of it. Your hosts are Murph from the Murphology podcast and AP from Parrot Talk. With tales from all over the nation, come for the bikes, stay for the fun, and leave with a smile. And now here is Murph.
Hey, that's me.
And AP.
Hey, that's me.
Well, hey, AP.
Hi, Murph.
Now that RAGBRAI is over, I mean, we still get to talk to each other. We still get to record podcasts. But, what kinds of things do you work on this time of year? Because I know that you're not thinking or doing things that have to do with RAGBRAI.
I mean, to be honest, I'm just still dreaming about RAGBRAI. It's mostly dreams where I can't find my hotel room or we're trying to podcast.
Yeah.
And it's super loud, so we can't podcast. But we got it all figured out. Don't worry about that. But I work full-time for RAGBRAI, so my job doesn't really change a lot.
Right.
We're still working on flipping from RAGBRAI 53. So in maybe a couple of weeks' time, we'll start looking forward to RAGBRAI 54, which is LIV, and opening registration and things like that. But for now, we're still thinking RAGBRAI 53. We're unpacking, we're organizing, we're doing lost and found and things like that.
Are we going to actually say RAGBRAI LIII next year, or have you guys workshopped that yet?
Well, it's up for debate whether or not it's RAGBRAI LIII or RAGBRAI Live.
Oh,
but
yeah. Okay.
I think most of us are voting for LIV.
Yeah.
So what have you been up to these last couple of weeks since RAGBRAI?
Oh, man. Well, I have been super, super busy interviewing riders and doing rider recaps and hearing about other riders' RAGBRAI experiences. I cannot tell you how much I love hearing them and talking to them and, just hearing their voice, the excitement, and reminiscing with everybody.
Yeah. You know what? There's no rest for the best. So somebody had to do it. And thank you for doing all these interviews, because I know you love doing it, but it's a lot immediately after RAGBRAI. It takes a lot of brain power. So
yeah, it does. Yeah.
I'm impressed. But these are also some of my favorite episodes to listen to. I have the easy part for these where I just get to enjoy your hard work and what the writers have to say. So who's up first?
Okay, so I've split them up so that the episodes are, around 40, 45 minutes long. And so this first episode recap, number 1, is Rich, Carley, and Charles. And I won't spoil everything because obviously everyone's going to listen in a matter of seconds. But
yeah,
you may remember Carley had a friend who showed us a bingo card. And I think on the bingo card was, meet Murph and AP, but also it was get a tattoo, a real tattoo. Do you remember that one?
Oh my gosh, yes.
And I put a magic marker X on the guy's hand, and he was all yeah, that's probably not going to count. So you'll find out in this episode if anyone did get a real tattoo. And ooh. I don't want to spoil it, but there were people that did real tattoos. I
happen to know a couple people who got tattoos, but I don't know about the bingo card team, so I can't wait to hear.
Yeah, and then the other one that I'll talk about is Charles. I can't recall his age, but he has done 36 river to river, and he also did the 250K this year, so it's kind of cool.
Oh, cool.
He wanted to celebrate the 250K, America's birthday, because he also did, I believe it was Iowa's birthday when RAGBRAI did 150-mile day.
Yeah, the sesquicentennial.
Yes. I can't say that word, so I figured you could. Yeah, sesquicentennial. Anyway, so he was pretty cool too. So anyway, let's get to our first RAGBRAI rider recap.
I can't wait to hear from Rich, Carley, and Charles.
I'd like to welcome Charles to the podcast. Hi, Charles.
Hello.
Well, tell everybody where you're from and if you rode RAGBRAI this year.
Yes, I'm from Hiawatha, Iowa, and I almost live on the nature trail north of Cedar Rapids to Evansdale.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah.
I believe that's called the Cedar Valley Nature Trail, right?
Yes.
Oh, beautiful. And who did you ride RAGBRAI with this year?
I rode with a group out of North Liberty. It's the Puckett. I know they won some kind of an award this year for a lot of the different buses and that got into.
Oh, okay.
So they come out in the final four with the scoop, so they were really proud of that.
Oh, sure. And how many times have you done RAGBRAI?
I rode the river to the river 36 times.
36 times. That
Yeah, I've never missed a mile yet. I managed to get through the 150 mile in 1996, I believe it was, and Iowa was 150 years old.
yeah.
I made it through that day, and I was really happy to make it through the 250K because I getting to the point where I'm slowing down, and I really didn't bring lights along, and even up until the last day, I wasn't going, and then I ran out and bought some cheap lights, and so I could get up early in the morning.
Well, tell us about that 250K. Do you recall how early you got up to hit the trail?
Yeah, I was where there was a few in our group going, and they're lots faster than me, so I was kind of worried, getting out of Marshalltown and in the dark and everything like that, and I was planning on getting up before 4 o'clock. I thought, oh my God, I can't do it unless I get up. So I think I crawled out of my tent about 4:15, and
Wow.
I looked out and I saw people riding with lights on their bike, and I thought, oh, that's the best break in the world for me. Now I can follow somebody. So I think I ended up leaving Marshalltown at 4:45, and I got into Indy at unbearable 10-8.
Oh, wow. Are you glad you did it?
Yeah, I would never forgive myself if I didn't try. And, right up in the last minute, I had given up on doing it. And then I said, no, I got to try.
Right. And
So,
I wonder how many people out there actually did what you said, the 150 and then the 250. So that's an accomplishment.
yeah.
And I hope I'm not disclosing too much, but you did write when you messaged us that you're 85 years old.
Yes. Yeah. So,
Tell us your why. Why do you RAGBRAI? What do you enjoy about it?
just meeting the people. And one of the first rides I went on was about number 11. And the first ride off, talking to people, it's like all of a sudden the first three people I'm talking to, one's from New Hampshire and one's from Canada and one's from Arizona. And I thought, oh my God, isn't anybody from Iowa? So.
And did you grow up in Iowa?
I grew up in Harpers Ferry, and that was a proud moment a couple of years ago when they went through my little town.
Yeah.
It was where they double dipped that time because the little town, they would love to have RAGBRAI in there, but they just don't have the people to accommodate something like that. It's a retirement community along fishing and that, so. But I was really happy to do that. And then I had a lot of nieces and nephews who were there to greet me. So,
oh, how cool is that?
Yeah. And this year I had a niece and her daughter ride one day with me. And I was happy about that because down through the years, I think I've had about 10 of my nephews and nieces in that ride with me. It's like, so.
And did you say that you still camp? Like you were in your tent every night?
Yeah, actually, I was, this year I started counting up and I thought 35 times 7. And I thought, oh my God, on the 5th day of RAGBRAI this year, I'm going to have in 250 days sleeping in a tent. It's like, I've never slept inside. So it's like, and I don't know. I haven't learned anything in all these years because I was sitting that second night when we had that light rain. I was sitting there in my tent and letting the flap open a little bit, and the water was coming in my tent. And all of a sudden, I didn't realize it. And it's like, oh no! It's like, so getting wet and soppy. That's part of the RAGBRAI, I guess.
Yeah, and you've done it 36 times, river to river. Do you recall heat like you experienced the first part of this week?
Not really. I know there's been hot days. One time, a long time ago, I think now I'm going to think of it pretty soon. The Register and National Geographic. I think they came along when we're flying along, taking pictures and a lot of things.
Mm.
And that day, the last day, I think we were at Fort Madison or something, and it was a really hot day. And I decided that when we got there, that I took my billfold out and stuff and give it to my nephew, and I drove my bike into the river. And I think somebody was sitting there and they took my picture from a dock. And I think like 5 years later, I seen a postcard at RAGBRAI that had like all these old pictures on it. And I thought, hey, that's got to be me. Nobody else would be in the water over their head with a bike.
This year I saw one man do that, and it was towards the end of the day. He just rode right into the river.
Yeah.
And I was both terrified for him, but also like, gosh, that's got to feel good.
Yeah, it does. It's like, yeah, I know, a lot of years, my nephew and I, it gets so busy at the dip site, we don't dip. And I told him this year, I said, we have to go dip this year. It's like, I said, well, when I get in that water, I said, I'm going to raise my bike over my head if I can. So I got some good pictures of that.
Do you think you'll come back for a 37th year?
Well, my nephew says I have to ride 2 more. I don't know why he's got 19 in. And so, but I'll probably be there. Every year, I tell my friends one more time. So it's always one more time, they say. So. But I enjoy riding. I ride every day almost on this nature trail. And everybody that sees me just calls me by Chuck. It's like I don't recognize them because they got helmets on. And it's like, so many of them know me because I wear a brim on my head and it's for the sun. And it's like, so, and then I go to Arizona so I can ride my bike every day down there during the winter.
Oh, yes. Very smart.
So I end up every year in the 12,500 to 14,000 mile range every year. So it's something to brag about, I guess.
That's amazing. So you probably, do you take many days off from being on the bike?
Take days off?
Yeah, from biking?
Well, when I drive to Arizona, I take 2 days off and coming back. And I don't like the cold weather. When I get back here on 15th April, sometimes I miss some days just because it's cold and rainy or something like that.
Yeah.
I miss a few days. But no, I enjoy this trail. It's paved all the way, to Evansdale, and it's just a great trail. A lot of great people on it.
It is a great trail. Yeah, I use it a lot all the time as well. Well, any other stories that you want to share from this year?
Well, just I enjoy going through the museums and that, stopping at all them. They're always something interesting. Other years I stopped in one small, it was like a 2-story hotel along the railroad tracks. And it was actually on the railroad from Boone to Dubuque. I think it was Boone. And this lady was way back in the 1900s. She had 3 small children and her husband got killed on the farm. And she took her children to Dubuque and gave them to the Catholic nuns.
Oh, wow.
So they adopted them out. And then she took the train back. And when she was coming back in the train, she stopped this guy. There were 2 guys on the train and her. And this guy talked them into staying there overnight instead of going through to where they were going. And so in the end, they got talking in the evening and finally they broke up. And then during the middle of the night, there was a guy sitting in he had a kind of a cot down. This lady come downstairs to him and says, "There's a dead man in my room."
What?
And so naturally, he ran up there. Yeah, the guy's dead. And it's like, whoa, it's like, and he ran and got the constable of the town in the middle of the night. And he comes over there, and it's like, now it's like, well, you shot him, Laurel. You're going to jail. It's like, well, somehow, one of the lawyers finally figured out, it was like, where's this other guy now? He's gone. We want to know what happened this night. He went to this hotel then and got out the records, and here the guy that had agreed to pay for their rent or their stay overnight and everything, he had signed all three of their names. He signed the guy's name, and then he signed his name and her name as Mr. and Mrs. So he had some ulterior motives, evidently. And so in the trial, that pretty much set her free, I guess.
So he's probably the shooter.
Yeah. Well, she shot him. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So,
wow.
So something happened in the room. So I don't know.
That's a great story, though.
Yeah. But there's so many things like that going across the highway. It's like, sorry, it's like, can you believe this?
Oh, man. Well, and just being able, some of the museums, there was a really cool one in Morrison that had an arrowhead collection that was just mind-blowing. And they had all kinds of nice features about the community. So it was cool.
Yeah, those are really good. I grew up and like Harper's Ferry, it's right along the Mississippi River there at a flat plateau. And there was a lot of buried stuff in there that actually Des Moines come and dug up the town and took a lot of this stuff. But I know I was talking to my sister yesterday. They farm close to there, and she said that she found one arrowhead on her farm, but she said the neighbor guy had found a lot of arrowheads in their fields. And I had an aunt that too, and she had like 27 arrowheads that she had found on her land. And it's like, so, there's a lot of things you see.
Oh, for
so
sure.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. Great. Yep. Well, I appreciate you telling us some of your stories, and I'm happy that I know somebody that's done 36 RAGBRAIs.
Okay. Well, thanks for putting me on. I sure appreciate it.
You bet. Thank you, Charles.
Thank you. Bye.
We will be right back.
Dear Friday, Toyota says let's put good times in gear with the Tundra, Tacoma, and 4Runner. Want some cool available features? We've got power tailgates to power game days and a trailer backup guide that's the champ of the ramp. Heck, we might even cancel Monday. Toyota Trucks. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
Now, back to the show.
Next up, we have Carley. Hi, Carley.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Sure. Tell the RAGBRAI world where you're from and who you rode with this year on RAGBRAI LIII.
Yeah, my name is Carley Garvins, and I am from Madison, Wisconsin. I rode with my husband and then 3 other couples, and then we had, I'm going to call our support vehicle, mom and dads. We had Randy, Susie, and Dan, and Felix and Autumn, who all took care of us throughout the week.
Nice, nice. And did you have a name for this team?
We had sort of an unofficial name, the Gouda Gear Shifters. No merch or any official signs or anything, but that was the best we could come up with.
Oh, that's awesome. And I didn't meet the moms and the dads, but I just have a feeling that they were overly mothering and fathering you guys, whether it's feeding you, putting your tents up for you, finding where the shower was. So that's always an added bonus.
Yeah, it was wonderful to have them. I think they started out calling us kids, and then they called us children, and they would just do all the things for us. So it was wonderful.
Oh, it's excellent. And do you think they enjoyed themselves?
Yes. Yeah. So we actually did RAGBRAI in 2024 with Randy and Susie were with us, and they were our support vehicle, and they actually were like, hey, you guys want to do it again? Oh. So they were part of the reason why we were interested in doing it again this year.
And that was my next question. Why did you decide to ride RAGBRAI? And maybe it's just because of them.
I mean, that was definitely part of it. I think the other part was when we did it, mostly the same group did it in 2024. And we afterwards kind of agreed that we didn't, I'm going to say, stop and smell the roses enough. Like we didn't experience the things enough. So we wanted to take our time and really see what the towns had, stop on the side of the road and do all the random things that just pop up along the way and do a better job with that. Yeah.
I love that. Of course, I can't remember the towns right now, but there was one town I was walking through and there was just people everywhere. And I stopped to, I don't remember, talk to somebody. And then I saw a tiny sign a lady was holding that was like, "Meet George." And I'm like, oh, I wonder who George is. So you had to just walk around the building, go to this like shed, and it was a huge pig or a boar. I don't know what they were called. So I'm like,
I don't know if anyone saw that.
George should have been front and center, but he was 1,100 pounds. So I think that
oh my goodness,
George decided where George wanted to be. But, but little things like that are, what makes RAGBRAI memorable, because we're all doing the same ride, but we all see different things. So that is a great segue into, tell us what you want to share with us about your RAGBRAI experience.
Yeah, so part of us wanting to do that and do all the things was making a bingo for the week. So as a group, we created a bingo card, like almost a hand-picked bingo card for every day of the week. So each day we had a new card. And there are a lot of like the standard things on there, like eat a pork chop, do a slip and slide, visit Casey's, things like that. But then I listened to the podcast that you did about the route preview and you had highlighted some things. I scoured like all the Facebook pages and looked for just any random things I could find. And then we would put those in the bingo card. And Alex, who was interviewed on day 0, did some online generator, made the bingo cards, laminated them, cut them, and then handed them out each day. So it was a really big production.
So was
putting that together.
So was the interview that we did on day 0, was Alex the guy that had on his bingo card to get a real tattoo?
He did, yes. Yeah.
And I believe I put an X on his hand and pretended like that was a tattoo. Did that count, or did he get lose points?
Unfortunately, I think the group decided that did not count.
Oh man, what
it was
bummer.
It was a big kerfuffle about it. Big, we had many discussions about it, but I think then partially also because later on in Grundy Center, 3 of us actually got tattoos. So then that kind of negated what he did.
I'm going to need some more information on this. Did you do the flash tattoo guy?
We did. Yeah. It was at Waymaker Inc. in Grundy Center. And it was on our bingo card for the day. And the 3 of us each got a little bike. I got one on my wrist and the other 2 got them on their calves, down by like their sock line. So
wow.
That was really fun and random to do.
And those are permanent, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
It was intentional.
I think the guy at the tattoo shop thought we were a little crazy, but it was fun.
Wow. I won't say who, but somebody amongst my friends also got a tattoo on the fly, and it was a flower, not a bike, which I thought was interesting. But it was not AP and it was not me. So
noted.
Yes,
There's
exactly.
always next year.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We just didn't have time. Otherwise I totally would have, but that is cool. What are the kinds of things were on the bingo card?
Yeah, I think there were, like I said, a lot of them kind of like typical things that happen in RAGBRAI, but I highlighted, I thought of a few that kind of came to mind. I think it was in Colo at the library. You could like paint a rock to make Sylvia the snake longer, and a couple folks on my team did that, and I think they heard really positive feedback from the library that they were so happy that people were stopping. In Rhinebeck, there was a beer, like they brewed a RAGBRAI specific beer, the Rhinebecker Amber Lager. So we all stopped and had that. And I think I would have missed that otherwise. We did a vow renewal in Nevada as a group, like a 3-couple vow renewal with an officiant dressed as Elvis, and went through that. So that was really fun.
And those, by the way, those were legit. They could have been legit. If you, let's say you were not married and you got a license the day before, that Elvis impersonator was an actual, whatever you call it, a person that can legitimately marry you. But I know.
I think we asked.
You're like, is this legit? That's awesome. Okay, I
Yeah,
interrupted
had a
you.
great little. Oh, you're fine. They had a great little speech, and it was lovely. It was really fun. Um, I think I was just going to say there was in Soldier, there was like a lemonade lane. So they were just a bunch of kids with their lemonade stands. And so we all made sure to, stop by and support them. So that was fun. I think probably the funnest and most entertaining thing for the week was we had a friend, we had a couple of friends joining us for the last day, but we had a friend named Tara who we were trying to find a date for the whole week. So we were trying to find her a date for Saturday or Friday night or whatever. And we had like QR code. It was on the bingo, but then we also had QR code signs at stops. We would like put them on our bikes and try to get people to fill out a survey. And a lot of the guys in our group just went they were very competitive and wanting bingo. So they were going and meeting all the men out there that were at RAGBRAI to try to find her a date, which was really funny.
What a great meet cute if she ends up with one of these men.
Well, she rode on Saturday with shout out to Jack from St. Louis. She rode with him for a little bit on the bike on Saturday. So.
Oh my gosh, that is
it's a great story.
Amazing story. Wow.
Yeah.
And I love, I was going to ask you if you have any advice to give someone who has never done the ride. And in addition, you said at the beginning that you came back for the second time on RAGBRAI and you took more time in each of the towns. And I think that is some of the best advice you can give someone. I don't know how many people I talked to that were like, yep, I was on the road by 5 a.m., which is great. But they were in the overnight town like by 10 a.m. And then all I could think of is like, well, then what do you do all day long? So I love that. Do you want to expand on that or do you have other advice you'd offer?
Yeah, I think the first time, I don't think the whole group, but I know myself personally, I was worried about being able to do it to be able to ride every day. So it was kind of more so focusing about just getting through it. And I was in far better shape this year, which made a big difference. Had more miles and things like that. But I think it makes the experience, you break it up a little bit more. If you think about, I just have to ride 10 miles to the next town or whatever it is, like that mental framework is like really helpful to get through. And I think one of the best parts of RAGBRAI is just the community and people coming together and seeing people and meeting people. And I think that just really elevates the experience. So doing these side quests and stopping at places really just gets you more of that and gets you what I think it is for a lot of people, what it's all about.
I guess the last question I have for you is, was Just Go Bike on the bingo cards?
It was to get on the podcast. You were on the day. I guess we should have put it every day. I think we only had it on the first day for some reason. We have some notes for next time.
Okay, all right. So that's why Alex was on, because he wanted to get an X on his bingo card. Nice.
Yes.
That is awesome.
Yep. So he went bold right away and went and did that. And I was like, I don't know if they're recording. He's like, well, I'm going to go see. So.
And we did. And I don't recall what day it ended up airing, but listeners, if you're wondering about Alex's interview, you can check back through our daily interviews. So.
We listened to it and just got such a kick from hearing it. So I figured I'd call and try to give a little bit of more details and information about what we experienced with our bingo.
Oh, that's great. Well, thank you so much, Carley, for coming on the podcast. And do you think you'll come back for a third time?
Yeah, I'm not sure if we're going to be I feel like we did it every 2 years and that seems like maybe we'll see what the route is next year, but sure. I think we'll definitely be back. Like I said, we have a lot of notes for our bingo and improvements that we wanted to do. So I think, we'll be back for sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Sounds great. Well, thanks so much for coming on to share your stories.
Yeah, thank you.
Next up, we have Rich. Hello, Rich.
Hey, Murph. How you doing today?
Very good. Tell everybody where you're from and maybe who you rode with this year, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, so I live currently in Green Bay, Wisconsin, Titletown. I grew up in the UP of Michigan, so not too far from where a real pretty area up there. And I rode with my girlfriend and a former teacher friend, colleague of mine. I used to school teach in northern Wisconsin, where he's from. And we also had a support driver. So there was a team of 4 of us from the area.
Okay. And was it your first RAGBRAI?
I actually did RAGBRAI back in 1999.
Oh, wow.
And 2002. And sandwiched in between there, I did a coast-to-coast trip in 2000 from Seattle to Boston. So this was my third. My girlfriend and my friend, it was their first, so they were newbies.
Ooh, okay. I know that we'll have some good stories here. But if you look at, you did it in the 90s and then the early 2000s, what made you decide this was the year to come back and do it again?
Well, it's an interesting story because I had always kind of wanted to redo it again, but it just never worked out. And about 3 months before RAGBRAI, I just randomly got on the website and thought to myself, boy, that would be fun to do again. So I approached my girlfriend about it, and she said, yeah, great. But we weren't thinking about this year. We thought, let's give it another year and go from there. Well, lo and behold, that same day, later in the day, my teacher friend from northern Wisconsin actually texted me a map of the RAGBRAI route and said, what do you think?
Really?
Yeah. And I guess if I needed another sign to do RAGBRAI this year, that was basically it. So, we basically signed up about a week later and then started planning for it. Another thing too, I had rectal cancer in 2024. It was stage 3B. And so basically the last 2 years I've regaining my health, getting my strength back. So it's kind of personal for me too, just to tell myself that I can do something like this again. So very glad we went through with it and finished healthy and nobody got injured, and it was great.
Yeah, and you have to give us some highlights of what it was like seeing your friends and your girlfriend see RAGBRAI through their eyes for the first time.
Yeah, so we left Green Bay the Friday before RAGBRAI, basically drove all day to Ottawa. We stayed there 2 nights. And the stories are true. You try to tell people what it's like ahead of time, but they really don't have any clue until they experience it themselves.
Right.
And that was exactly the case here. You can tell them that there's bikers nonstop all day, there's lines, there's this and that, but they really don't believe you until they get out on the bike on the first day. They both loved it. A lot of memories. My girlfriend, ironically, was a little nervous during the first 2 days, actually going downhill. So the hills didn't bother her. It was more going downhill. So I think once we got through the first day and they could kind of experience the crowds and the riding with all kinds of riders around you, they were much better.
It definitely is something, it's something that like you said, you can talk about it all the time, how many riders are out there, but it's just a world different from any training ride that you can go on because you just don't have that many people ahead of you, behind you, beside you, the whole works.
Yeah, exactly. And my girlfriend gave me a good piece of advice because when we signed up, she was actually giving me advice. When we signed up, I became a member of the newbies Facebook page and the RAGBRAI Facebook page. And I was trying to figure out every answer to every question before we went. And I think that's what I would recommend to somebody else is don't do that. Part of the fun is kind of figuring it out on your own. Know the basics, but you don't have to know everything about RAGBRAI before you get there and start riding. You will figure it out.
Mm-hmm. And in theory, right, none of us will be the first person, and none of us will be the last person. So there's always somebody else around to kind of guide you. Even if they guide you astray, that becomes a good story too.
Yeah, and even with our support driver, I mean, she was asking a lot of questions about what to do and this and that. And I just had to tell her I'm not sure, but there are thousands of other people in the same boat as you, and they figured it out.
Right.
Now, having said that, it was kind of funny in Ottawa. I actually chatted to a few riders who didn't know a thing about the route. Like they had not looked at it at all. They signed up for the ride not knowing that the first 2 days were going to be hilly. And
really?
so I was a little surprised at that. I obviously don't recommend that because I really studied the route just to kind of make sure we knew what was going on. But a guy from Delaware I met said, so it's pretty flat, right? And I said, I just kind of laughed and said, no, not exactly. So yeah, be prepared, that way, but you don't have to know everything going into the ride.
Any like highlights as far as, I'm trying to think of it through the eyes of a newbie, the first time eating pancakes and having them throw the pancake at you, or I didn't find a walking taco this year, which I was so bummed at. That's always my favorite during RAGBRAI. But did you have any favorites?
As far as food goes, I had a ribeye egg sandwich for breakfast one day. Yeah, a lot of the towns kind of blend together. I'm not actually sure where that was. I think that was in day 6 or 7, somewhere in there. But that takes the cake. I also really liked Erling on the first day. I was pleasantly surprised, and I don't remember this from my other 2 RAGBRAIs, that so much of the items like given out, it was all at a free will donation. I don't remember that so much 25 years ago. Maybe that was the case, but I just forgot about that. But I think that was really moving too, as well with my girlfriend and my friend, that a lot of these organizations are just putting these pies out there and different treats and bottles of water, not looking for a ton of money. They just want a little bit to try to offset their costs and earn a little bit money. So those were both highlights for me as well. And then we all really liked Perry as well, the meeting day town. I think that was on day 3. We liked the vibe. We just liked the setup in Perry a lot too. And all the towns were great, but those couples stick out to us.
Mm-hmm. And Perry should be on everybody's list as a place to go back to, because they have a beautiful bike trail goes right through Perry. So they're really bike focused. And it's a beautiful trail.
Yeah, we did talk specifically about going back to some of the towns that we passed through. We thought Dyersville was also a really cute area. We did stop at the Field of Dreams site, but with 15, 20,000 people there, or whatever there was there at the time, it was a little hard to take it all in. So we definitely think, going back to some of those areas is on our radar for sure.
Do you think you 3 or you 4, if you count your support driver, will come back for another year?
I would come back every year. I think the best way to describe it is we all made memories. We all had a lot of fun, but it's also a lot as well. Camping like we did, setting up, tearing down every day, the heat, the hills, the first 2 days. I think we will be back, but it might not be right away next year or in the next few years. I think we'll probably let this one soak in for a little bit.
So you're saying you don't, on a normal basis, set up a tent and take it down, set up a tent and take it down every single day?
No, we don't. And we did stay, interesting couple stories. We did stay at Independence High School. We took advantage of that inside. And then on day 3, I had seen, pretty much after I signed up, a lady from Ogden was offering her residence to camp at. So when we got through Ogden, we cut day 3 7 miles short and stayed on her property. In retrospect, we probably should have ridden to Boone and had our support driver pick us up and then bring us back. But I guess I wasn't thinking about that. So then on the morning of day 4, the 3 of us had to ride from Ogden basically to Boone
And then
at 6 a.m.
Right.
Yeah, no traffic. Excuse me, no bikes. There was traffic. So that was a little bit eerie until we got into Boone.
I believe that because you don't have the protection of all the other bikers.
Right. Another a favorite story, if you have time.
Mm-hmm.
So it was on day 2, somewhere toward the end of the day. There was a U-Haul truck approaching us. He was probably a quarter mile away, coming at us. And then with about 75 yards in front of us, or maybe 100 yards, he decided to do a U-turn in front of us. And he overcooked the turn a little bit. And the back of his gate, the gate on the back of his truck was open. So we saw all this happen. There was probably about 3 or 4 crates of pineapple juice, canned pineapple juice, that kind of lost their balance in the back of the truck, and they actually fell out into the road and into the ditch.
Oh.
And he righted the U-Haul and just kind of kept going. We were trying to wave him down, but I think he was probably a little too embarrassed to stop. I'm sure he knew what happened. But yeah, we rode by and there was a bunch of pineapple cans laying in the ditch. And just a short while later, we saw that U-Haul truck. We think it was the same one at a smoothie station. I won't mention which one it was. But
right.
yeah, we talked about that all week, how interesting that was. People were just waving him down and trying to scream at him, but he had nothing. He wanted nothing to do with stopping.
I'm gonna guess that smoothie stand did not have pineapple on their menu the rest of the week.
They probably did not. Yeah.
Oh,
And
wow.
also too, I've still yet to cut off my RAGBRAI band, and I don't know if I'm planning on doing it anytime soon. It's a nice memory to look down and to see that on my wrist.
Sure. Yeah, that's fun. Well, Rich, I appreciate you taking the time to kind of share some of your stories, and hopefully we see you back in Iowa, whether it's, to explore Perry or some of the bike trails or another RAGBRAI.
Yes. Thank you so much, Murph. I really enjoyed it, and I think we'll definitely be back. It's just a matter of when.
Well, listeners, that is it for today. We want to thank you for tuning in to listen to the Just Go Bike podcast. If you would like to contact Murph and AP with a comment about the podcast, or maybe even you have a topic in mind, you can reach us at justgobikepodcast@gmail.com. Please follow us on Instagram and Facebook and watch our intros on YouTube. And don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to this podcast, especially if you're a fan. That is going to do it for this week. Until next time,
Just go bike.
theme song by Ryan Steer, logo by Suzanne Milosevic, produced by Kathy Murphy, social media by Andrea Parrott, intro by Pumpkin. Until next time, just go bike.